Classic. I decided to give these guys a shot, especially since FPL has kind of fallen off quite a bit here. And we're just going to be moving right into it. So who knows? Maybe we'll be seeing the next Sumail or the next Miracle over here from the I guess it's kind of the China, but it seems like it's the Southeast Asian scene in general. So it is going to be the team called DKNA going up against the team called Team Baidu. But of course, it is just like an in-house league for higher MMR players around the Asian region. So let's just hop right into it. We are going to have a Doom ban alongside a Night Stalker Tuskar. Tuskar, incredibly strong hero. We saw him absolutely dominate alongside the Doom over just past at the Summit 4. So glad that they're gonna take those out as maybe get a little bit more variety. Doom, really strong hero, annoying to lane against. Even with the nerfs, he's still such a strong hero. And instead, DKNY just gonna get rid of that one. She is gonna be drafting up, and over here on Team Baidu, I cannot pronounce that whatsoever, so let's just call him Dark Blue. He's going to be drafting up over here for Radiant. And look at that, DKNA. They're going to get rid of that Winter Wyvern. Don't want to deal with that Cold Embrace or anything like that. Slardar, solid first pick. They don't grab the Shadow Fiend, surprisingly enough, since it is Radiant Shadow Fiend. Now we're going to see if the Dazzle is going to be picked up alongside the Undying, actually. So a nice Undying pick. Obviously, somebody really enjoying that hero as Undying. Really strong hero. You can kind of put him in the off lane if you want to. We mostly see him as a support, though. We see Fly play him as a support a lot. He really likes that hero. He's fantastic at it. And they're going to follow up with the Spirit Breaker. So already, two very tanky heroes that aren't a core to help deal with that Slardar. And Team Baidu, they're just going to grab the Gyrocopter, still leaving the Shadow Fiend in the pool. And instead, they're actually going to ban it out themselves. They saw VP, potentially they saw VP use the Shadow Fiend during the summit. And even though they were on the Dire, they still had a pretty good run with it. They did end up losing the EG, but they still ran that Shadow Fiend over on the Dire side. And they did a pretty good job with it as well. So they're going to get rid of it instead. And maybe look to grab, I was going to say grab a Queen of Pain, but it is going to be out there. Notable mid laners, we've still got Ember Spirit, Windrunner, Lina perhaps as well. We have seen hit the mid lane, so still have a few strong mid lane heroes for sure. As Baidu going into their next ban, and with the Shadow Fiend, surprising that they would ban it. Maybe a little bit worried that DKNA would take it, but I'm not all that scared of a Dire Shadow Fiend. And if they leave it in the pool, you can take it. It synergizes incredibly well with the Slardar. Gives you a lot of mid to late game potential alongside that Gyrocopter. Maybe a little bit greedy, which is your biggest worry. But realistically, I'd be pretty comfortable with it. TA also notably still in the pool, so if anybody's a TA picker, Radiant gonna get rid of that Bane. So surprising that we do see the Bane kind of pass through that first pick and ban stage. Along with the Dazzle, hasn't even been thought of yet. Ancient Apparition, gonna get rid of that one. So maybe Team Baidu thinking about picking up the DKNA thinking about picking up the Alchemist here. And they're just going to ban out the AA because they know that Team Baidu can't really deal with it, all that well. Gyrocopter, pretty good. Call down the slow is great. And it looks like it will be an offlane Spirit Breaker, support Undying Dazzle. So they've got a lot of sustain. That's why they wanted to get rid of the Ancient Apparition. They noticed Dazzle was still in the pool. They're going to say, all right, AA is still in there. Is fairly greedy if Team Baidu does run it, but if they're able to pick it up and run it successfully, it's really difficult to deal with that Ice Blast call down. Just those two heroes are so strong, and instead Baidu gonna go with that Earth Shaker, which I don't mind. It will be a support Shaker. Great hero to roam in the mid lane, so even though they don't know who's going to be their mid lane hero, Earthshaker Fissure is really good. Even at level 1, level 2, he's still a scary hero to be roamed on. They do have the Dazzle on DKNA, so we can kind of pay attention to some of those TP rotations. There is always the possibility of that, so although they do have that strong roamer in DK, of course, DKNA is actually just going to still have that Dazzle, so they don't have to worry all too much about it. So dipping into their time real soon to go into that reserve time. They're going to go with the Viper, so not the most fun hero to cast or to watch, but certainly a solid pick here. Gyrocopter, actually, surprisingly enough, can get kited fairly well. Of course, Flak Cannon does give you some bonus range, and they're going to pick up an Alchemist against the Viper, so no fear at all. They've got 3 now very tanky cores, Viper, innately tanky, especially with his magic resistance here, so that call down not going to be that great up against him, and Viper's pretty good against the Gyrocopter and going to do pretty well against this mid lane Alchemist. So now Team Baidu is probably going to have to think about a support that they want to pick up that'll help out this Alchemist in the mid lane. Wyvern gone, Ancient Apparition gone, Dazzle on the other team. Perhaps we could see, as odd as it seems, a last pick Io. Just kind of help you out in the mid lane, help you out with the bottle and everything like that. Set up some stacks for you in the jungle as well while he has the time. Just kind of look to increase the Alchemist farm like that. Who else could really help? It's pretty difficult. We could see potentially a Bounty Hunter. It would be really greedy, but he does give you that option to rotate and really, really roam around with the Earthshaker in that mid lane. That could kind of be their idea. You know, they grab the Bounty or somebody else who's kind of good. Perhaps a Lion. Even something really weird like an Enchantress. Somebody that can really just rotate in on this Viper. They've got a lot of initiation range, and that's how they can hope to win this Alchemist's lane. Or just look to stack something like that. But it's going to be difficult for sure. This Viper is a really solid pick, surprisingly enough. Baidu will pick up the Alchemist against it. I guess, you know, there's no Ancient Apparition, and they don't have too much burst damage, which is really good. Alchemist does like that, so maybe DKNA going to look for somebody like the Juggernaut with that Omni Slash, get a lot of burst damage with that ultimate, and look to take down the Alchemist before he can really get that extended Chemical Rage off. So could be a fairly nice pickup for DKNA. They still need a safe laner, of course, so there's not too many that are that much better. You could maybe pick the TA, run her in the safe lane. They don't have that much to deal with the refractions, but I don't think that'd be that great. Huskar was banned out by Team Baidu. Despite the fact that they've got a lot of physical damage, they're just not comfortable dealing with the Huskar early on there, so they will just get rid of it. And DKNA really dipping into their reserve time now. Not too many heroes that are going to go up well against an Alchemist Gyrocopter, so it's probably going to be a lot of, unless this Alchemist looks to build something like a Solar Crest. If the Alchemist goes the Solar Crest build, they're going to have a lot of mid-game potential, of course, with that Gyrocopter, as well as with the Earthshaker, the Slardar, if he can manage to get some early levels in his Tranquil Boots just zipping around, and they're going to go for a Venge. So Venge does have a nice bit of burst. Of course, she just kind of ups the entirety of her team's damage as well. And look at that, Team Baidu going to say, all right, you want to get rid of our armor? We're just going to bring it right back up with that Lich. And a lot of armor and negative armor play going on in here between the Alchemist, Lich, Vengeful Spirit, Slardar. So it's going to be very interesting to see if they look to just swap the Alchemist in. And it is a Chinese in-house league, so they're going to go and say, all right, you know, who's the Chinese player maybe we look up to most? And it's going to be Burning, I guess you could say. So Burning played this exceptionally well during the summit. I don't think anybody can hold it against them that you know, they didn't end up winning or anything like that. Vici still played exceptionally well. But for the time being, we'll try to go over the players as best I can. Some of the names, of course, I won't be able to pronounce, but we'll start off with the Dire She, going to be over here on the carry Vengeful Spirit Showstopper, as well as Anonymous going to be behind him most likely in that safe lane. Could be a dual lane Spirit Breaker Undying, which is very scary, as it looks like it may actually be a Dazzle going down that bot lane. Mid lane, Sugar with a lot of tangos that he was given over here, so he's going to be mid lane on that Viper. Meanwhile, on the opposite side, Dark Blue is going to be over here on the Alchemist. Purple going to be taking up the Slardar, as we'll just call him LOL, going to be on the Lich. Over here on the Gyrocopter, we've got Baidu King. Last but not least, we've got Cecilia over here on the Earthshaker. So it looks like both teams are just going to kind of split up and each take their own rune, as nobody really looking for the level 1 fight, despite the fact that Dire does have a pretty strong level 1 fight. Cuckoo actually going to go over here for the Greater Bash. So don't see that all that often. Usually you like to get the charge first, as it looks like the Undying does have a couple wards, maybe looking to block the pull camp, as they're trying to rotate around on the Gyrocopter. Got to be a little bit careful. We do have the Viper here. The slow could be enough. If they get a bash, it could be an early first blood here. Baidu King, there's the bash, as well as the poison touch. Easy first blood over here. He's probably just saying, what the heck happened? How did you guys just walk up and hit me? And it's not that hard. A nice kill over there. A nice lucky 17%. I won't lie on that one, but Anonymous going to be able to steal a little bit of strength there as well. And look at that. They're even going to block that stack for the Alchemist. So the Dire already some nice rotations early on, finding themselves a first blood, as well as two camps being warded up here. And now the Gyrocopter is going to have a little bit of a troublesome time, as it seems like it's going to be an aggressive tri-lane here. A lot of wards around the mid lane as well. So yeah, they're saying, you know what? We see that the Alchemist is going to have a hard time mid. Let's keep the Earthshaker and the Lich nearby. The Lich can give him the Frost Armor. I'm surprised that he wouldn't go over here for the sacrifice level 1, just so that you can deny a little bit more EXP away from this Viper, as well as give yourself some. But look at this, Dazzle's coming in the lane. Cecilia, what is this? This is so much damage. She's actually going to go down as well. And already the Dire with a huge lead here. Doesn't seem like much, but the Radiant really needs to have these lanes come out at least even. At least even is what they're going for here. They need this Alchemist to be able to find himself some farm. Sugar shouldn't really be given these kills, as he's already going to dominate the lane. And now Showstopper giving the poison touch over here to the Alchemist. It is physical damage, so the Frost Armor going to help out a little bit. Now he's got the bottle, which is going to be good for him. But Baidu King going to be really annoyed in the bot lane. Looks like he's trying to rush the Wraith Band here. Does have 8 tangos at the very least, so he will be able to keep up with some of that regen, but I'm sure he's not going to be all too happy with that. Crush going to go down. She may be in a little bit of trouble. We do have the sprint on the Slider. Is going to throw out the magic missile here as well. Turn around and just run away from that one, as doesn't really want any of that. Both heroes getting quite low Slider regen. Does still have the salve, a mango, and 2 tangos, so going to come out ahead in this lane if nobody shows up to help him out a little bit. Sugar now going to eat a right click in order to cancel that clarity in the mid lane. Showstopper still nearby. Not going to just let him have that all alone. So it will be a 1-2-2 for both teams here, it seems, as Earthshaker now rotating over towards the bot lane. Won't have that pull camp, unfortunately, and it seems like Cuckoo CSing only 1 for 1. The Undying 6 and 1 though, so they're kind of splitting it up a little bit. Maybe a little bit unsure of who they want to give the core role to. Seems like the Undying may actually be the core role, or they're just going to split it up a little bit. Give the Undying the first little bit of farm to grab his brown boots, and then after that, the Spirit Breaker can farm up what he wants. But he does have the level 2 and brown boots of his own. So there's some global potential. Invis rune now in the bot lane. And the Radiant, no vision of that instant charge. Now they don't know he's there, but the Lich backing right up here. There's no way that they're going to be able to get this kill. And the Spirit Breaker will have to cancel that one. Does have another charge in about 5 seconds here. Courier, could he go for the Courier snipe maybe? Oh, Cuckoo, this could be the play. The Invis rune, he's so close to it right now. 1 or 2 right clicks should be enough. There it is. The Orb of Venom even slowing it down enough. And that's the bottle as well. The bottle crow for the Alchemist. It's a disaster for his lane now. And this is massive. They really, really needed a slight advantage in the laning stage in order to convert towards the mid to late game, because there's absolutely no way that they're going to be able to go up against the mid game fighting over here on the side of the Dire. Alongside the Undying, the Vengeful Spirit. And they're just going to look to 5-man very early on here. And I'm really not sure if the Radiant can withstand it. The Gyrocopter's having a tough time here. He is level 3. Thankfully enough, he's been able to find his level. Cecilia going to be able to create a little bit of space for him. Now, Anonymous going to take some harass, but with the double decay, be pretty happy with that one. Cuckoo waiting for another charge mid as well. They're going to be looking for at least the Alchemist, if not the Lich here. He's getting quite close up, and this should be the death of him. Charge is going to come out. There's the slow as well. Frost Armor maybe going to be able to keep him alive enough, as the attack speed slow. Could it be enough? It looks like it will. Cuckoo, one more right click. Sugar does have the vision. Yes, he does. Able to get that kill. Still has the salve up as well, and the full Aquila for him. So really going to be dominating the lane up against the Alchemist. Has a nice little bit of armor bonus there. His top lane looks like maybe Purple in a little bit of trouble here. Has the sprint. No magic missile going to be thrown out here from She. He's just going to back up and try to harass him out a little bit. Earthshaker with a nice little block there. Not going to give the Undying some of that free CS under tower. Although it's going to happen no matter what. Gyrocopter getting quite aggressive here. Has the Rocket Barrage, but maybe a little bit careful here. Charge is still certainly the option. Haste rune now picked up, as there's no shallow grave yet on this Dazzle. He's just going to turn around, and now Slardar in a whole lot of trouble. Or excuse me, not Slardar. The Viper in a lot of trouble. The stun up from the Alchemist, and it looks like the Crush to follow up. Plenty of physical damage. No grave though, and a huge mistake over here from Showstopper, who doesn't scale the grave, and the Frost Armor is going to be enough to keep the Alchemist alive. Frost Blast as well going to be thrown out on Showstopper. Could he be in a little bit of trouble? Does have the Shadow Wave in a little bit, and now looks like Cecilia maybe not happy with something. Cuckoo going to throw out a bunch of dots here, as he's going to return home. It looks like he did charge bottom, I believe, forcing Cecilia to go home. Courier finally going to respond in about 15 seconds here. Going to finally get the time for that, as sure the Alchemist is going to be happy to have his bottle up. Now does go for the Quelling Blade. Top lane, Vengeful Spirit going to be given quite a bit of space here. So at the very least, they do lose the Viper, but She going to be able to get some more EXP as well as some farm here, which means that he's going to have a nice early, well, they've already got an Aquila over here on the Viper though, so I don't think She wants to grab one. He's got to be careful. A lot of physical damage potential here over here. Purple running away. A little bit of a misplay. Probably wanted to cast the Wave of Terror first, just for that extra little bit of right click damage. So he missed 1 or 2. Probably wouldn't have been enough to get the kill though, so not really that big of a deal. Tranquil Boots as well in the Slardar, so he'll be happy to make that trade. And now She Forced to grab a salve bot lane. Maybe a little bit of trouble. Anonymous getting quite low right now. Does have another decay. Will use it. Baidu just going to turn around. Could this be a double kill? There's the flat cannon out. The charge over here on a Cuckoo. And now there's the... oh, just so much damage. Baidu barely going to get away. The fissure buying him just enough time. Decay. Is he going to be able to get in range? I don't believe so. Goes for it. Cecilia going to turn around. Just give him one or two right clicks. And now Anonymous maybe in a little bit of trouble. Not enough mana on Cecilia though for another fissure. Gyrocopter able to get out of that one as he almost gets nuked down there. Probably should have gone for the decay though. There's only 1 point into that soul rip. Not going to be that effective. He really tried though. And the gyrocopter just going to return to lane yet again. Flat cannon out. As we do see Rune get picked up mid lane top now. Slider going yet again on a She. Going to get a nice bash. And it's going to eat a magic missile. Showstopper's now here with the poison touch. He's got the sprint. Do we have... no mana for the swap. Oh, this Slardar is playing this off lane exceptionally well. Min-maxing almost perfectly here. I'm not sure if he took a look at the mana pool on the Vengeful Spirit beforehand, but either way, he was able to play that one really well here. Even has the Mango Tranquil Boot still, so easily able to regen up. Has the mana if he needs it. And now Alchemist going to be able to get a bunch of time here. Doesn't go for the extra points in a Grieval Greed. Instead, going to look for the Acid Spray in order to do these stacks here. Going to be looking for a Bottle Crow as well. And just going to look to stack this large camp one more time. Bot lane, it looks like Spirit Breaker will go down. TPing from the Undying, but it's a little bit too late as Earthshaker did use the fissure to cut him off there as well. Baidu King going to look for the stack here. Should be able to get it. Oh, no. It looks like he actually just missed that one, so he's not going to be all too happy with that. And unfortunately, going to be a little bit less efficient than he had hoped for. Mid lane, although they're giving this Lich quite a bit of nice EXP here, which he does like. You want that level 6 for that Chain Blast, or that Chain Frost, excuse me. As well as the sacrifice points early on as well. Going to be quite helpful. Cecilia going to show up here. Look for her level 4 as well. Give her a little bit more roaming potential. Charge top. Now on a purple Showstopper is nearby. And there it is. They're going to start off with the stun. Charge is a little bit far off still. Look at the damage over here on a Showstopper. There's the amp damage now on a She who's tanking the tower. And there's nothing to transfer the aggro to. Maybe to Cuckoo, but he's too far. It looks like She's actually going to go down to the tower. Gyrocopter going to rotate in. Call down. Is it going to be off the mark? Not all that far off. And now She actually going to be able to get out of this one. Viper nearby should be able to help him out if the Lich tries to rotate. And Baidu King with an unfortunate TP. Looks like he won't be able to get anything off of it. Cuckoo, there's the fissure. There's one call down missile. Is he even going to try to charge away? He goes for it. Unable to do so. Viper Strike going to be used from Sugar now, and a little bit of a waste from him. Won't have it for another 70 seconds. Cecilia going to look to steal that Invis Rune as well. And now the Dire. A little bit too aggressive on that Vengeful Spirit. Purple going to rotate bot lane. Anonymous maybe in a little bit of trouble. Doesn't have all that much armor with the amp damage as well. Got to be careful. The zombie's slowing Purple down. There's the crush to start it up. Alchemist with a perfect rotation as well. There's the charge. Gonna stun on the Alchemist. Doesn't matter though. He's got the Chemical Rage. Should be able to keep alive. Anonymous is going to pop the ultimate. Has another 2-man decay. If he wants to hit it, will do so. Soul Rip off cooldown as well. Not that many units nearby. There's the Venge. Magic Missile will be enough to get the kill. And now there's the swap in. Anonymous could turn this one around with the Soul Rip. Gonna give him a little bit of damage. Viper's here as well. Showstopper. Gonna TP in, and there it is. She's gonna find himself a double kill, and the Dire's gonna look to pressure the bot tower now. A nice bit of rotations there. So they started off giving a couple kills, and now 6-3, 9 minutes in. This game's starting to get a little bit turned here. So some really nice play from the Dire. Beautiful rotations there, and they're even gonna find the stack. Cecilia stacking it. Now we're going to have a TP in here from the Gyrocopter. They can't give the stack up. There's the charge up onto the Earthshaker. Fissure will hit, but he's not going to have it. That means for when the rest of the heroes show up. And now it's a little bit dangerous. Frostblast's going to go out. Only going to jump once. So Cuckoo, does he have ultimate? No, he doesn't. He's in a bad place now. He's only going to get stunned up for a brief moment as the Alchemist didn't charge it all that long. Magic Missile out. They do have a little bit of space creation now. Sugar in the backside alongside with Anonymous here. Purple going to show up with the amp damage now. Onto Sheehan. It looks like they want the stack. They are going to throw the Tombstone up to hit it, and now look at that burst heal over here for the Shadow Wave from Showstopper. Going to be enough to help out clear the stack, and Cuckoo still nearby here. Going to right-click some of these down. Gyrocopter skirting on the edge of it, though. Does he have the vision? It looks like he does now, so there it is. Called on going to land. There's the charge up. Only going to hit the Spirit Breaker the one time. There's the Rocket Barrage. Is he going to get the Soul Rip? It looks like a little bit too late. There's the Fissure out. Going to get the kill. Showstopper not even able to get off the Shallow Grave there. They're all going to have to back out. They managed to at least clear the stack, but they lose one for it, and it's a fairly even trade. It is the Spirit Breaker, the offlaner, who manages to grab his urn here. But looks like they are giving the farm to Undying nevertheless, so it's not going to be that big of a deal. 320 gold going to the Earthshaker, which is going to be quite nice for him. We'll be able to finish off the full Magic Wand. And that seems like it will be the end of it. There's the swap in onto the Alchemist. Viper Strike not going to be used just yet. There's the stun being channeled as well. She under tower. A lot of negative armor. There's the Wave of Terror going to go out. Cecilia should be able to turn this one around. Probably going to go down herself, though, as Sugar take a lot of damage under the tower. Yet again, that Acid Spray reducing the armor will be able to back out Showstopper. Still with the Shallow Grave bot lane. Meanwhile, Baidu King in a lot of trouble. Anonymous is nearby Cuckoo. Does he get the bash? It looks like no. Call down could turn this one around. TP out. Is he going to be able to do so? No. The charge from Cuckoo turning that one around. Anonymous providing the vision, and that's it. That's all for the Gyrocopter. Go home, old man. As the Dire now looking to press their advantage here, as we do see them at about 1,500 net worth here. So it's been up and down. The Radiant kind of evened it out, but the Dire going to jump right back in, and EXP kind of even, but more importantly, the net worth here. Despite the fact that we've got an Alchemist, the Viper not even that far off the Alchemist net worth, and now with this mechanism almost being finished up, I imagine here. Nice little Roshan there. What the heck? Genuine ice baby Roshan. Huh. I haven't really seen one of those, but nevertheless, now Sugar going to look to push the mid lane. But once he gets this mechanism, can they stop the 5-man over here? They've got the call down, which is a great ability. So now Alchemist maybe in a little bit of trouble. Showstopper going to be able to steal at least 2 CS there. Alchemist going to let that one fly, and probably going to annoy him a little bit here. Frost Armor. There's the charge up now. His ultimate is off cooldown. He's got to try to turn tail and run. Lich is rotating in as well. Does have the Frost Blast. Aggressive Observer Ward here. And now Cuckoo looks like he will cancel that one. Top lane, meanwhile, Venge looks like she's in a lot of trouble. There's the Crush, the Enchant Totem. Is it going to be enough? She's going to turn this one around. The one keeping him alive a little bit longer. The bash. Oh, no. Oh, it was so close. The Magic Stick just giving him a little bit of burst heal there, and Cecilia going to help out with that kill. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, it looks like they want to go over here. There's the Chemical Rage coming off cooldown. Call down now onto Anonymous. Does have the heal. Will give himself the Shallow Grave. Baidu King forces his TP out of this one. Almost goes down to the Shadow Wave. Won't be enough. No, now the Chemical Rage isn't going to be enough to keep this Alchemist alive. It seems so. Echo Slam on the backside. Fissure as well from Cecilia. Going to pay for it with her life, though. There's the charge back into the Alchemist. We don't have the ultimate over here from the Viper. The slows could be enough, though. Anonymous giving a lot of that amp damage. There's the Soul Rip. A triple kill for the Undying player. And there it is, the Dire yet again. Oh, a Crush. Cuckoo gonna get caught out. We'll be able to find one more exit kill there. Nice little rotation from the Slardar hanging around the Ancients, but they will lose 3 as well as a tower. And unfortunately for them, they only get a Spirit Breaker for it, who does finish up his treads anyways, and he'll be quite happy with that trade. As the Undying really getting some nice farm here. 2.6k. Is this gonna be an Eggs Undying? They've got the mech. They could go for an early pipe, and look at this. Roshan's going to be called out. They've got the Wave of Terror. They've got the bonus damage. It shouldn't take them all that long. Do we have the medallion on the Dazzle? No medallion just yet, unfortunately, but maybe not expecting that they can do the Roshan and the Radiant. Seems like they're just going to have to give this one up, as it is quite slow. Couple pings out here. Looks like the Lich did ping it out. Cecilia, maybe. No, it was just the Venge, I believe, and that should be Roshan. Probably going to give the Aegis over here to Sugar now that they've got the mechanism. Perhaps they can give it to the Undying if he just wants to go absolutely ham, but realistically, after you throw Tombstone and your ultimate out, it's not really all that useful. They will give it to the Viper. With the mechanism now, the Dire just going to look to push this 5, and take a look at the net worth. Look at that. The Alchemist on par with his safe lane Gyrocopter, trying to go for the Radiance here, but he's still so far away, and it seems like they didn't get enough out of the early game here, and unfortunately, there's no way they're going to be able to stop this train now. Just going to barrel down the mid lane. They do have some nice deep push here. They've got the Acid Spray, the Fissure, the Frost Blast as well. And it will be a little bit difficult going up to high ground with that call down, but realistically, is Alchemist now forced to go into the enemy jungle, which isn't necessarily the worst thing, but it just means that he's got to play so risky. But, I mean, he does see 5 heroes still, though. It's always scary. Can't even farm his own jungle. Fissure out, and a little bit of deep push like I had said, but more importantly, how do they stop this? They've got no AA. Charge going to go down top lane, and are they just going to TP on this Gyrocopter? It looks like Spirit Breaker is just going to come right back home now into this fight. Blink Dagger finished up on Slardar, and this is it. Drums over here on the bench. Very, very tanky. Aquila Drums. They do have double Aquila, but does it even matter here? I don't think so. Showstopper on the backside. Going to use his Mango there as Sugar on the high ground. Starting to right-click this tower down, and look at the sustain they've got. Just so annoying for them to deal with this stuff. Arcane Boots as well. playing this one absolutely perfectly. Everybody dropping their arcane boots. Alchemist going to channel the stun. No, there's the call down the Fissure as well. Chain Frost going to be thrown out. She in a little bit of trouble, but that's going to be it. That's all. There's the crush. They might be able to get the Aegis. No. Shallow Grave keeping them alive a little bit longer. They're going to look to turn this one around. Charge going to hit on 2. Tombstone on the high ground now here as well. It looks like maybe they're going to go for this Slardar. Yes, there's the Viper Strike. There's the ultimate from Cuckoo. Might pay for this with his life. The mechanism are going to be used on Sugar now. There's the sustain we were talking about. Sugar going to go down to the Echo Slam, but it's only the Aegis. Charge back into Cecilia. Cuckoo at almost full HP here, thanks to the heals from the Undying as well as the Dazzle. He's going to get stunned up a little bit here. Bash, is he going to get it? Looks like no. Cuckoo now getting quite low. Sheem talking about quite low. Buyback from the Alchemist, channeling the stun. They want She so bad right now, but is it even going to matter? He could turn around. Cuckoo going to get stunned up, trying to charge in, and look at them just diving. They don't even care about the racks. They're just trying to prove a point right now. They've got to be careful, though. Don't want to give up any gold to this Alchemist. Getting closer and closer. There it is, the magic missile onto Cecilia yet again, as the acid spray is going to burn them down. She, now there's the gyrocopter. Got to be careful. Going to go down to your Sugar. TP's out, and just like that, they don't get a racks, and they have to turn tail and run. Slardar gonna look for some escape kills as he's got the Blink Dagger. Oh, the charge. Perfect timing. Tombstone gonna be laid down. There's a crush onto Anonymous. He's got a lot of gold on his head. Does finish up the pipe here. Gonna get fissured. Tombstone gonna be taken out here as well. Anonymous trying to stay alive, but it will be all for naught. Gonna give up a killing spree to the Alchemist, and just like that, he's almost got his Radiance. And could it be enough? Some poor play from the Dire, getting way too greedy there, and now they've got to be so careful. They can't give up this lead. It'll be interesting to see how this graph looks, as they were about 5k ahead. It's probably going to jump up to about 4k-ish by the time all is said and done. We do have a swap in. There it is. Cecilia getting quite low. Ultimate over here on LOL as well. Doesn't have Frost Lance for another 5 seconds. They will get 2 heroes here. Baidu King going to be able to TP out. Stun. Oh, very close to getting the stun on the She. Magic Missile not going to be there in time, excuse me. There's the charge up from Cuckoo yet again. Blink out. Crush. Not going to be able to time it right. Amp damage on a Cuckoo. Got to be a little bit careful. There's the Crush. Is going to be able to sprint out of this one, and it looks like they shouldn't be able to catch up. Earn preventing that Blink Dagger, but it doesn't matter, as the sprint will be enough for Purple to get out of that one. As we do see now the Dire maybe ready to pressure top tower. They should probably just go for the outer towers, and from there just try to increase their gold lead that they do have, as if they do that and take a team fight, they can maybe try to get a little bit more out of their game in general. If they get 1 racks, they could potentially convert it into 2. And Invisor now picked up on the Alchemist, close to that Radiance, but it's an 18, it'll be a 20-minute Radiance when all's said and done, and 20-minute Radiance is something you'd look to see on a lone Druid, not an Alchemist with Grievel's Greed. 4 points in a Grievel's Greed as well, so he's having a very tough game. They controlled him really well, stealing a couple of his stacks early game. Even the Dazzle annoying him by stealing a couple CS. Now TP in the mid lane here. We are going to have the charge on a Baidu King, who's got to be a little bit careful. There's Cecilia going to get stunned up by that one. We do have the ultimate as well. They're actually going to turn tail and just go on the Earthshaker. Fissure out, not going to be in time. Magic Missile, not even necessary. I do hear a crush somewhere in the backside. It is on the Dazzle, and we'll be able to survive there. Very scary crush. There's bot lane. Now they're going to TP over here onto Dark Blue. Do they have vision? Looks like no. Won't be able to get him there. We'll pick up TP as well as a chainmail, so they do have even more sustained. Charge shot onto the Lich. He's got to be careful. He does have Chain Frost. Looks like he's trying to go for a catch-up Midas here. Really his only option, and he can't afford to die here. Doesn't want to lose any gold. Is going to go down, unfortunately. There's the call down now on the 4 heroes. Cuckoo trying to run away from this one. Mech on Sugar, still off cooldown if they want to use it. Trying to bait it out a little bit longer, it seems. Cuckoo. There's the charge back into Baidu King. The buyback from the Lich. There's the Echo Slam on the 5 heroes now as well. Fisher Sugar's going to go down. No mana over here as well. Baidu King looks like he might trade his life. No, the damage over time not going to be enough. Cuckoo. Crush not going to be in time from Purple. They do lose 3. They did have to spend the buyback on the Lich, and now this Midas is pretty well a non-factor. There's no way he's going to be able to get it anytime soon here. But more importantly, the Alchemist has managed to find the space for the Radiance here. The Gyrocopter as well, looking to finish up his BKB, and this is truly getting scarier and scarier for the Dire now. Upwards around that 4k mark. I imagine it'll be closer to 3k, 2.5. This Alchemist starting to lead the net worth now, and take a look at the levels. He's even leading the hero level, so EXP all taken over. Looks like the Alchemist is going to get ulted over here by Cuckoo, but it's not going to be enough. just keep an eye on that net worth here. Looking probably to go for the Boots of Travel next. Could grab the Yasha just to get a little bit more armor if he wants to, but I don't think it's all that necessary. Just grab the Boots of Travel, try to split push, delay the game, really pull the Dire back and forth. They've got a Spirit Breaker. He's usually good with that global pressure, but they'll probably need +1, maybe even 2 to burn through that Chemical Rage now. As Caldown going to be used to farm in the bot lane. TP out. Charge was going on the Gyrocopter as Roshan's still not up yet. They really need that ticket in order to break the racks here. Purple going to get caught out, though. Does he see him? There it is. Magic Missile going to be off the mark, but he's going to blink right in to the wrong heroes. There's the Viper Strike out. Cuckoo with the charge up. Slardar is going to pay for it with his life, and going to find themselves a nice pick in the enemy jungle. They don't even have ward vision there yet, as looks like Showstopper probably going to try and choke out the enemy jungle with these wards here. They should be seen. Force Staff now picked up. Still no medallion on Showstopper, despite the fact that they've got quite a bit of physical damage. Charge up now into Baidu King. Maybe in a little bit of trouble. She, I imagine, should have the range for the swap back on this one. Maybe. They're thinking about it. Not going to do it. There's the Chain Frost going to bounce between 2, but that's about it. Frost Blast going to be used as well into She, and it'll only slow him down a tad here as he's going to look to finish up the Yasha and just even continue to build up on those stats that he's already got here. Quite a bit of damage going on. TP top from Cuckoo. As, the Alchemist still in the enemy jungle here, farming up quite well. Does have enough for the Boots of Travel. We'll see if he's going to want to buy them just yet, as does have 2.5k. Perhaps going to save for buyback. They do know he's bot lane. That aggressive Observer ward here, spotting him out, and maybe now he's going to go down here. Chemical Rage off cooldown very soon. There's the Viper Strike, even on Undying here. Charge up and just look at that burst damage they have. She providing so much bonus damage here. That Magic Missile just so strong. We are going to have a crush out. Dazzle going to use the Shallow Grave, keeping himself alive a little bit longer. And this means now the Slardar is going to have to pay with it for his life. Does have crush off cooldown in 3 seconds, but it's not going to be in enough time here. And they will be able to secure this bottom tower here as well. Gyrocopter pushing in the mid lane, so they won't be able to continue to convert here, I don't imagine. As he should be. Actually, no, he's going to TP home a little bit early, in my opinion. Does finish up the BKB. And this could be a very important item for him. They are going to pop the pipe immediately here. Not even going to wait for the call down. Blink Dagger on the Earthshaker as well. Smoked up. This is going to be the play here. They're spread out quite well. There's the call down now. Just going to force them back. Maybe give them a false sense of security so that Cecilia can get off an easy Echo Slam. But it seems like she and the rest of the Dire team know exactly what's going on. And they will just back out. Roshan, very max respawn time now. Up in about 1:50. Boots of Travel now grabbed on the Alchemist here, as well as the Band of Elven Skins, who will be going in for the Yasha before either clearing the Manta or the Octarine Core, depending what he wants to go for. As Sugar now with the SNY, going to be quite tanky in his own right. Showstopper, still surprisingly though, that he doesn't go for that medallion into Solar Crest. You'd think with the Vengeful Spirit, with the Viper as well going SNY, he would be so tanky. Both of them would be so incredibly tanky with that medallion. She doesn't have to worry too much about swapping in. Gives him a nice bonus 10 armor, as well as that miss chance, which is going to be very annoying. Maybe makes it a less risky ult. And she looking like he did finish up the Yasha here. Force Staff and Yasha both completed. Now Dazzle going to be the Roche ward, it seems, as he will jump in. Maybe going to look for a smoke beforehand, though, as they are all gathering high ground. Midas finally completed on the Lich, and could be a nice catch-up Midas for them, but is it too little too late? They're going to look for a smoke, and if they can convert off this smoke and then get a Roshan after that, it's almost certainly a high ground. The worst thing that could happen would be that Cecilia goes down here, does place a ward. They are going to charge up on the Alchemist. Do they have vision? It seems so. Gyrocopter is pinging him out. He is going to TP away, and it seems like the Dire understands that and will just back up. Despite the fact that he was smoked, so maybe just Spidey sense tingling. They are going to continue the charge, though. They're not ready to give this one up. Cecilia, as well as this. Look at there's the swap in right onto the Gyrocopter. BKB going to be used immediately. Viper Strike on him as well, but it's not that big of a deal. There's the ult. Tombstone going to be laid down as well. Baidu King looks like he's going to pay for it with his life. No BKB or call down, even if he decides to buy back. And this should be Rack. She with a haste rune. Maybe thinking about going in on a purple, but won't do so. Just going to back out, and Sugar going to post up on the high ground. It looks like this time they're ready to take the racks, and Gyrocopter with the buyback, but is it going to be enough? Homing Missile going to be thrown out. Does have the flare or the flat cannon as well here. Going to buy a little bit of space here. Going to be able to clear through that creep wave, but Sugar is just so tanky. There's the Blink Crush on it too. Now she in a lot of trouble. Echo Slam from Cecilia. There's the jump in from Cuckoo. It's not going to be enough. This down under Sugar Showstopper with a clutch Shallow Grave, and is it going to be enough? Sugar turning around, trying to get out as much damage as possible, but another clutch wand over here from the Slardar player as the Alchemist continuing to chase. He's just so fast with the Yasha Boots of Travel. Anonymous in a lot of trouble now. Channel on the stun here should be enough. Fissure going to grab that Dazzle as well, and Anonymous probably going to go down here. Lich with the Frost Blast, only level 1 surprisingly enough, but it will be enough to get the kill, and it's going to be a full 5-man wipe for the Radiant. Roshan's up, and they could look to get a tower off of this one. My oh my, have the tables just turned. They don't even need the BKB. Just a beautiful, beautiful Echo Slam. Maybe still not expecting that Blink Dagger. They should have known, as he did blink away earlier on, and with the amp damage, Frost Armor, as well as the Acid Spray, should be plenty enough to get the kill here. Even the bottom tower going to get destroyed by the creeps, so the Radiant finding themselves on a nice swing up in terms of net worth. And look at that, going to be about 3K by the time everything is said and done here. EXP in the same breath as well, going all the way up. Absolutely fantastic, fantastic patient play from the Radiant here. They get picked off a couple times. They do have the buyback on the gyro though, and it's enough to secure them the team fight. Very, very worth it if I'm him for sure. Lich is getting charged, but there's absolutely no way the Spirit Breaker can solo kill him, especially not that deep. Does have the Blade Mail now, looking to finish up the Glimmer Cape. I imagine potentially the Shadow Blade. Damage is fairly negligible though. Maybe just wants it as the initiation tool, but Glimmer Cape going to help out with the Frost Blast, the Echo Slam, as well as the Call Down here. They do have quite a bit of burst magical damage as the Alchemist getting scarier and scarier as the time passes, and they don't have too much to do with the split push alongside the Spirit Breaker and a couple TP rotations. But if the Alchemist is playing smart, he'll be quite aware of what's going on and shouldn't get caught out at all here. Earthshaker grabbing the Smoke of Deceit though, and it looks like they're ready for their own smoke plays. They want to find themselves a couple picks with the Aegis. Charge up onto the Gyrocopter. They do have that weave. Only level 2. There's the Blink Crush on a Cuckoo though. The Call Down. The Force Staff out though should be alright. Call Down going to be a complete whiff, and instead they should be able to get away from this one, as it looks like maybe the Earthshaker thinking about continuing to chase that, but instead maybe just going to look for the smoke up here, is trying to get into a spot that they know they have no vision up, and there it is, the smoke up. Alchemist going to break that with one more right click, but do they care? Cecilia looks like she maybe wants to start this one off. Sprint up from the Slardar. They're looking for the Crush. There it is. Fissure Crush. Wrong side though. Gyrocopter is on the other side. There's the charge up. Will land on 3 though. Tombstone on the high ground as well. Chain Frost just going to be bouncing between zombies though. Blade Mail going to be used. Echo Slam from Cecilia. She's just going to take all of that damage on herself though. It is a 2-for-1 trade so far. There's the Viper Strike on a Baidu King, who's in a lot of trouble now. We do see the Vengeful Spirit rotating in as well. She going to jump in. Baidu King trying to TP out. Magic Missile going to say, no sir, not today. There's the swap on a purple now, going to get brought right back. Aegis going to pop now. Baidu King with the Call Down. Could it be enough? Alchemist throwing in the Acid Spray, but it's not enough damage, and now Sugar and Anonymous just going to turn this one around. Gyrocopter going to give up a mega kill to the Vengeful Spirit, and 20-26, 28 minutes in. It's looking fairly grim now for the Radiant. They really needed that fight. They've got the Manta Style, but they don't have the buyback. Gyrocopter's item progression is really stunted after buying back on his own. They have to fortify the tower, and I'm not sure they can defend it. We do see the graph kind of going up again, and 28 minutes in, it seems like we've had so much action this game. Both teams farmed incredibly well, as it looks like it will be SNY for She. They are going to have the buyback over here on the Slardar, looking for the Blink Crush. Will catch Sugar, as they are going to charge one of the illusions so far. Fissure are going to buy them some time as well. There's the Tombstone in the middle of the Fissure though. Can't get rid of that one, although the Alchemist illusion almost going to get it. Will just barely kill the illusion before he's able to burst that Tombstone, as now, are we going to have a swap in on anybody? It looks like She is just waiting for it. Alchemist nearby, got to be careful. There are 5 heroes here. Gyrocopter up in about 18 seconds. They're trying to buy some time. They will lose the racks, so the rest of the heroes are going to get cut off though, and maybe Dark Blue thinking about it. Purple going to blink in. Crush Cuckoo going to Blade Mail immediately though. There's the ultimate. Chain Frost going to be thrown out though. There's the Sun on a Cuckoo, and now they're going to be able to burst this Spirit Breaker down. The rest of the team will just back away, not before they manage to find themselves a melee racks though, and now look at that, a full Crimson Guard over here as well. Purple's chasing for it. Showstopper going to be able to Force Staff. Should have enough time to TP out here in just a second. Double Observer Ward, unfortunately for him. Places a sentry down, but will waste at least one of those. And look at that, jumping right back in favor of the Dire. But this game, aside from the racks as well as the buyback, very, very even. They have to be so careful of this Alchemist too. He was so far behind this Viper earlier on, and they managed to give him that Radiance, and he's just bringing it right back. Look at this. Slardar giving them some great vision in the enemy jungle right now. Alchemist as well as the Gyrocopter, I'm sure, feeling so confident in where they're farming right now. Baidu King doesn't have to be careful whatsoever. Normally you'd be afraid of the rotations in, but look at this. He's just going to continue to push. So much vision. This Invis rune is actually doing so much work right now. It's just about to run out. Does have to be a little bit careful though. Will just back up. Amp damage over here onto Anonymous now. Keeping eyes on him as well. Gyrocopter. Still sitting quite close though. Not going to show just yet. Thinking about the call down, but will just use the flat cannon. Probably look to back out after that one as Anonymous. They do still have the vision onto him. Slardar gonna blink into the trees and TP out. Baidu King though, still pretty confident here as the rest of the Dire looks to push the top lane. They're gonna pipe up a little bit early on. Not gonna be able to push the racks with that pipe. And instead, they're gonna give the defensive weave here as well. So armor tick's gonna continue to go up and up. No pipe though, unfortunately. And it looks like they got to be a little bit careful. There's the swap in on a purple. He immediately that magic missile. There's the call down. There's the frost blast as well as the chain frost, the fissure. Do we have the echo slam? So close. 4-step echo slam. It looks like it just tickles them though. There's the wave of terror going in as well. Baidu King going to be able to dodge that stun with the BKB. Now the Alchemist running in at full HP. They're looking to turn this one around as they should be able to get the kill on a Sugar here. There's the shallow grave though. Maybe enough to keep him alive. Anonymous with the soul rip. Should be enough of a burst heal. Do they have the shadow wave? They do. Now stun up on a showstopper. He's going to go down, pay for his life. Baidu King getting low though. They will be able to get him. She in a little bit of trouble here, but he's just so tanky. He's got so much armor, so much HP right now. Even Sugar able to stay alive in this one. Maybe thinking about turning around here. They do have the Viper Strike. There it is, the stun up, as well as the stun return onto Anonymous. She's getting quite low, but it doesn't matter. It's not going to be enough. They are just going to look to turn this around and convert a racks off of it. Buyback from the Alchemist. Buyback on the Gyrocopter as well. They at least force one of them, and they'll probably just look to back out after that. Sugar going to TP home, and this game, ladies and gentlemen, is absolutely ridiculous. Dire going to look to take it, charge up over here. Probably just going to look to get back out to the fight, and the Radiant taking it again. The Dire turning it around, and it seems like nobody knows who's going to win this game. Roshan probably going to be the next major target. Still a few minutes before he's up. Charge actually going to be completed over here in a dark blue, and maybe thinking about going on him, as they do still have the ultimate. Cuckoo putting out some nice damage here. Blade Mail going to tickle them a little bit here. She, with the lifesteal, going to think about staying out in lane. Probably just going to look to finish up the helm here, and Showstopper with the heal as well. Going to be enough to keep him around as Dark Blue. Got to be a little bit careful. There are multiple heroes here from the Dire. Will just bots to the bottom lane as Viper and Undying both sticking around here, looking for maybe just to see if Roshan's up anytime soon. There's Cuckoo with that Shadow Blade now. Maybe looking for the Silver Edge, going to be able to get rid of Bash as well as... well, that's really it, actually. Just the Bash. Grievel's Greed, I guess, potentially. That's going to be about it. Sugar gonna get stunned up. There's the Viper Strike, and now he's actually getting charged here. Undying rotating in towards the mid lane as well. She not far off, and do they even need them? No. Just look at that damage, getting that last proc from the S and Y as well. Charge up. Gonna be used on a Baidu King. They've got the ultimate as well. Gonna catch Earthshaker with that one. Cecilia in a little bit of trouble. Blade Mail gonna be forcing Cecilia to just turn tail and run. Can't really output any spells. Sugar now turning around. He does have the Chain Frost. Are they going to be able to cancel that charge up? Fissure not going to be able to prevent the Lich from going down. And now 70 seconds without the Lich. Baidu King. There's the swap in. Cuckoo. Is he going to be able to get a bash here? I don't believe so. It doesn't matter though. There's the Helm as well as the Creep giving him so much more damage. One rack's down. It should be multiple racks. They've got no buyback on the Gyrocopter. Alchemist without the Octarine Core. Manta style up, but it shouldn't be able to buy him enough space. Gyrocopter managing to get the buyback. There's the Echo Slam as well. Sugar, there's the Grave though, has the mechanism in the PKB of his own. Caldon gonna land on 5 heroes, but look at Dark Blue just blow up Baidu King as well. That's gonna be it. That's gonna be all. GG, well played coming out from Dark Blue, and the Dire, it looked like it was evening out there. Even the Radiant looking like they were ahead, but they managed to give up a couple team fights, and the buybacks just didn't work out for them. So good game well played over here to the Dire squad, and already having a ton of fun with the CDEC Classic here. My very first game, and absolutely fantastic game it was so far. As looks like we're just going to wait for the Ancient to fall here. Maybe just going to wait for the racks to completely be taken here, as it seems like they're maybe just thinking about this one, talking it out. But it was a good game well played. And again, just to reiterate, this is an in-house league akin to FPL and stuff like that. So just a bunch of random players. Even though they do have team names, they're not actual teams. Just a couple guys who may have been a part of those teams at one time or another, and gonna throw up their tags. As there it is, the final GG gonna be called. I imagine the Ancient will explode here, as Gonna get maybe a little bit of a nicer view here. Crush going out in the backside as well as the Frost Blast, but that's gonna be it. The Ancient to fall, and the Dire's gonna take the first game. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm gonna have another one coming up shortly. Should have enough time to cast one more before I do have to head out for work. So just gonna drop the overlay here and find the other game over here in my replays while I wait. So good game, well played, guys, and I'll be right back. Hey everyone, thanks for checking out the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to check out some of my other videos. I have my series From Lane to Lane where I just cast some everyday pubs that you guys send me. I also do some more professional pubs like games from Koikva, Miracle, whoever I can get my hands on from Dodo Buff. I have a learning series as well, so feel free to check that out. There's some more info in the description as well as some videos linked in the annotations at the end here. Thanks a lot.